Romans 12:1 and 2 says this: "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing and perfect will." What is the extent of our worship? Is it the time we offer up in church each week? Is the time we set aside for our own personal prayer life or Bible study? One definition of worship says this: that worship is a declaration that God is in the midst of all that is happening in our world today. It is a powerful weapon against any lie that says that God is not in control or that he is not able. And worshipping together teaches us to submit and surrender all our cares to God, our priorities, our plans, our hopes and dreams, and even our fears. So what is the extent of our worship? There at the beginning of Romans 12, Paul gives us the answer, and his appeal is based on God's mercy. And Paul concludes that since we've received such mercy that he's outlined in those previous 11 chapters, our appropriate response must surely to be to present our bodies as living sacrifices to the Lord. Paul says that that is our spiritual worship. The whole thing, not just what we do on a Sunday for an hour and a bit, not just what we do in our private life, in our prayer time and our worship time. It's not just those formal things or even those private things that is our worship, but everything about us. It's the whole person, a whole attitude of gratitude which shows itself in this sacrificial obedience to God as we give him praise and adoration. The sacrifice that we're being urged to make is a living sacrifice. It's ongoing. It expresses itself outwardly rather than inward contemplation. It is whole life worship. We've talked a little bit, haven't we, in the past about whole life discipleship, and that's what it should be. We need to stop thinking about ourselves as Christians only on a Sunday or only when we're doing Christian things, because when we start thinking about ourselves as followers of Jesus Christ in our everyday lives, in those mundane things that we do, in those important things that we do that are not of church, then we are offering up God's worship in the whole of our life. So we worship God in the workplace, in our leisure places, as well as in church. We worship God in our relationships, in our choice of companions. We worship God in how we use our time, how we treat our bodies, and the things that we do for others. We worship God in the way that we shop and how we spend our money. We worship God when we go and put an X on a piece of paper to pick our next councillor or MP. We worship God in our willingness to stand for what is right. Our worship is about all of us, always. We're going to sing A Guess and Inevitable next hymn. It's a tough hymn to sing. It's a beautiful hymn. It's a nice tune, but it's a tough hymn to sing every meeting. And we're going to sing Take My Life and Let It Be Consecrated, Lord, to Thee.